Because Blizzard doesn't want me to leave my desk today and keeps pumping out more news, we get a third video. Jeff Kaplan popped onto a developer update to let us know what's coming in tomorrow's big patch, confirming that the PTR is going to go through as live. I cannot believe this, we'll talk more, but also confirming that we are indeed getting a Baptiste event. It's a mini event called Baptiste Reunion Challenge, where just like the Ana Bastet mini event, you play any game mode, get wins, and you'll be able to unlock the new Baptiste skin. I believe this is the one from when he was in the Caribbean Coalition, when he was still kind of a good guy, but then sort of slowly merged into Talon after this. In present day, he's gone through that transformation and is a good guy again. Well, technically he's always a good guy, but got caught up in the wrong crowd like kids tend to. You know, it happens. Just stumble into working for an evil organization without knowing. But anyway, Jeff did say you could earn more things in the event too. I assume this will be a player icon. Looks like one. I like collecting these. The d.va mini event a while back had a bunch of sprays as well, so probably a mixture of cosmetic items for that. Now, interestingly enough, there was a line in the video where Jeff said that Baptiste, in the new story, reunites with characters from his past who may or may not be bigger parts of the Overwatch universe as well. Now, you guys know from our previous video, I'm basically entirely convinced that Mauga is just the new talent tank, Hero 31. Jeff could hardly keep a straight face when saying that, which makes me think we're going to get confirmation of that before long. Now, the other cool things coming with tomorrow's patch is the replay system that we've talked about. There's no way to share replays though, but at the same time, it'll still make it easier for you guys to record your games and send them in without having to record everything all the time. Not everyone is set up to do that, so I'll expect more submissions to our coaching series that we're kicking off again with more regularity. Send in gameplays where you thought you played really well and it was all your teammates' fault to youroverwatchplays@gmail.com, and now you'll have the replay functionality to save your last 10 games. But remember, you can't save more than that, and whenever they patch the game, it's going to delete anything the server saved, because it's like literally a different version of the game, if that makes sense. Like the code just doesn't line up, so they have to wipe it. So keep that in mind. The other cool thing that Jeff said they're bringing with this event is a competitive Ffa Deathmatch, which lasts for a short season or something. And this is kind of a heartbreaker for me, and I think anybody who plays both a lot of Deathmatch and Hero Gauntlet. Hero Gauntlet is clearly the superior mode, okay? It's way better. Because if you can pick any hero you want, well, everyone's just going to pick McCree, and McCree's getting buffed on the patch, which I don't even want to talk about, but we'll get to it in a second. So I think it's a really missed opportunity. Please, at least put Hero Gauntlet back in the playlist for arcade, or do me one better and make a ranked version, because I kind of win all the time. I mean, it's not just me. Like, anyone who's a high-ranked player just dominates in the playlist, and that's partly a good thing because the skill gap really shows in Hero Gauntlet, but also not fair because I've only not gotten first about 8 times, and I've played it for like 9 hours. So that's a lot of times where I'm just dominating the lobby and it's not really fair. So I would like a ranked mode to actually challenge myself and play against other players who are tryhard sweaties like myself at Hero Gauntlet. Okay, anyway, that's just my personal note to Jeff. Who cares what I think? Moving on, there are a host of balance changes and, importantly, game mode changes to Assault. This is the good news. We'll start off with this. You get less time now when you cap A. You used to get 4 minutes, now you get 3, which that nerf's attacking. But there's an even bigger nerf where now defenders who die around the time that A gets capped will have a maximum respawn time of 3.5 seconds. Whereas it used to be 10, which meant if you die when A is getting capped, there's a very good chance that you're not going to get back to the fight at B by the time they're already starting to cap it, which made for a snowballing mechanic, or to say that small advantage would, like a snowball rolling down a hill, grow bigger over time, making it too easy to cap B. Now, this definitely helps pro play a lot. I'm kind of mixed on how I feel about ranked. I suppose it gets 2 CP maps over quicker, which is just objectively a good thing in my opinion, but also should resolve games more often on A and even on partial caps on B, which I don't know how I'm going to like this for ranked because that already was kind of the case, but I suppose at least if you can't capture B and your team doesn't know how to capture B, you can end your suffering a minute sooner. Maybe that alone is a net positive, so we'll see how that plays out. The time banks for defending B were always just egregiously long, but now we're going to get on to the balance changes, which Jeff referred to as minor. I need to make this clear. In no way is this McCree buff minor. In case you didn't see both the videos we made on this subject, When we first tested it, I thought it was a pretty huge buff. But then when I learned more about it, I realized, oh wait, this is a massive buff, gargantuan buff. Because not only is McCree's effective fire rate going up by, I've seen some disagreement about this, 20 or 25%, somewhere in there, it also significantly reduces the recoil, because what's being buffed here is the primary fire recovery rate, which means there's less hang time in between shots. So essentially, your crosshair recenters back much more quickly, and depending who you are, this might not affect you at all. And I'll admit, as I've practiced more McCree, the crosshair bobble has affected me less, but normally, the kick on McCree's Peacekeeper totally messed up my ability to hit consistent shots, because I'm so reliant on seeing the crosshair to sort of measure and have the muscle memory to go along with it. I think with more playtime, that starts to go away and you realize it's just the placebo effect of the crosshair bobbling, but I think you're going to find that this new and improved McCree is just redonkulous. I found this on Twitter from Andrew JRT, which I just think is a perfect representation of how the new McCree feels like. I have no idea how this is going to live. It is possibly one of the most obviously overpowered buffs they've ever put in, which is problematic because the ranked balance patch was so good. I haven't had enough chances to say it, but the balance of Overwatch for ranked play, not organized 6v6 where everything is just goats, but in ranked play, everything is really balanced. Like, everything's in play. There's almost no throw picks, and everything feels good at something. That's a marvelous time to be alive as Overwatch player, and they're just messing with it now with this overbuff to McCree, and even this next one, a nerf to d.va, who, by the way, I was already making a video that d.va is just really weak. She's definitely not unplayable, but she's so hard to use in ranked, I do not advise you try to heavily force d.va to work. Every other tank is better, even if you're playing two main tanks. I'm dead serious. d.va's really hard to use, and in fact, if there's no high ground in play, I do not suggest you're even playing d.va right now. We'll get into that more with my upcoming d.va video, but they're adding on another nerf that'll go live tomorrow, which reduces the range of defense matrix by 5 meters. Nerfs on nerfs on nerfs. I mean, look how they massacred my girl. It's just overkill. I don't know what this balance is for. It's not going into an Overwatch League stage anytime soon. There was already rumors that they might put Rollock in for Stage 4 or into the game by that time. Who knows? What is Blizzard doing with these patches? I actually thought, and I'm not kidding, that this patch was a phony patch. Like, Roll Q was going to be coming, like, they pretended that they were going to do some balance changes that didn't really make much sense and were going to bait and switch us. Then, surprise, Lock 222, those changes didn't make any sense. Oh, you caught us. But no, this stuff is going to live tomorrow, and I think it's a big mistake. Now, other changes that are coming through, Baptiste's Bionic launcher ammo capacity goes up from 10 to 12. I'd say it's a good thing. Ant Matrix ult now lasts a bit longer. This isn't too much of a problem because Baptiste isn't really that strong in my opinion, and he's never really necessary either, and except to get Bastion to work, who is niche and also unnecessary a lot of the time. So I don't mind this buff necessarily. It might push him to make bunker comp even better than it already is, and it already is the best comp most of the time right now. Then on top of that, other bunker characters are getting buffed, where now Orisa will be able to throw her shield while shooting, and you guys already know how I feel about Orisa, and Symmetra's teleporter interact range got increased by 0.5 meter, and a lot of you guys pointed this out in the comments as well. This means it's going to be a lot easier for Symmetra to teleport her team out of gravitons. That's probably the biggest interaction we can think of, but there might be some that I haven't thought of. Funnily enough, I've been watching a lot of Pro StarCraft 2 recently, and they buffed the range of the Warp Prism, which allows you to, kind of similar to teleport, right, transport units, and it having a much bigger range obviously buffed it to a severe degree, so much so that it might be one of the best units right now. Well, I'm like freaking out because so many of these changes were so egregious. Maybe this one's like insane as well, and all of a sudden now, with a lot more leeway to jump in and out of the teleporter, maybe you can just play characters with no mobility to a much more devastating degree. Characters like Reaper, or especially the other characters that are also getting buffed, Orisa and McCree especially, all can use that teleporter micro to jump up and down from high ground while being super lethal now with all of their other buffs. Now in this, Torb's alternate fire did get nerfed. I don't think this matters too much because it's sort of a low skill thing. If you're good at Torb, you're not really going to mind this too much. Should almost always be using his primary fire anyway. So thankfully, one thing in the annoying bunker comp isn't going to be outrageous, but whew, what a crazy patch we're getting tomorrow. I am super excited for replays and a lot of the other stuff, but this patch to me really reminds me of when they had a sick patch last year and then they reworked Hanzo for seemingly no reason, then he was super good. Like, they're doing the same thing with McCree, where he feels like a brand new character to me with how effective his primary fire is, and I don't know how the heck they're going to get that to work, because he already was good and took a lot of skill to use. The new version, I think, takes far less skill and finesse, similar to how Storm Arrow on Hanzo did a year ago, right around the same time, actually. It was stage 3 in the Overwatch League then, too. So, I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. The patch will be going live tomorrow, so hold on to your butts. If you get some playtime in on the patch, be sure to let us know by tweeting us at YourOverwatchYT to let us know your thoughts on the balance patch. Hopefully I'm wrong. Please tell me that, because the live patch has just been so good. I'd hate to see that go downhill. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave it a like. It really does help us out. Lets us know that you're enjoying the content. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Link to the description is our Twitter, where we tweet out news, updates, and dank memes. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for your Overwatch. See you guys next time.